would you do if you run completely out of cash? What would you do if you wanna cut a dash? Polish up the shoes, throw on something fine. We don't talk about diesels, I'm running on style this time. Cruising down the boulevard, wheels gleam in the night. Beige leather interior, looking chic alright. Money's a little tight, but I'm feeling brand new. Living large tonight, no budget reviews. Blues! What do you mean I'm not getting paid for this?
Right, viewers, well, here we are again with a second generation facelifted Mazda2 on the channel. I actually filmed one of these in March 2022, which I'd sourced for a client at the time on Sensible Second-Hand Reviews. Things have sort of changed over the last few years, and now these are no budget reviews cars for sure. They came out in 2007, and they were discontinued in 2015 when the third generation car came out. So yeah, you can pick these up for under £1,000 if you want to. Well, we'll talk more about actually whether that's a good idea in another video that I'm making, because actually I sourced this car myself for my mysterious benefactor. It's sad that this has got a dent in that door, which is, yeah, a bit of a shame. But this car cost less than £1,500. It's 1.3 TS model, which was sort of towards the bottom of the range at the time. The paint slightly faded on the bumper, and there is that dent and a couple of other marks, but it's not too bad, really. It's done about 107,000 miles, but actually from looking at it on the outside and the inside, you wouldn't know that. These are very, very reliable cars. There is a big problem with them though, and we will come back to that later, but I do like sourcing these. They're basically the same platform as the Mark 7 Fiesta, although they came out a year before that did. They don't have the same engine, so this is actually a Mazda Z engine in this, and we'll look at that a bit later. So the TS doesn't really get you an awful lot. You don't have, for example, colour keyed door handles, you don't have colour keyed mirrors, you don't have a leather steering wheel, you don't have remote controls on the steering wheel, but actually a lot of you won't mind about that. You actually still get electric windows and mirrors in this car, and air conditioning. We'll have a look in the boot. It's actually a bit smaller than a Fiesta. It's about 250 litres, and on this particular car as well, the struts are not working, which is annoying, so I'm going to have to balance this on my shoulders or something. There we go, it's not too heavy. So we can lift up the boot carpet and take a look under here. As you can see, we've got a space over spare wheel, and then here is the jack, which is in there. There we go. No locking wheel nut key required because we don't have alloy wheels on this specification. Yeah, he's going to have to get that fixed, isn't he? Which, you know, isn't the end of the world. Wheel trims actually are not in too bad condition considering the age of the car. So we'll get in the back. Space isn't too bad for a car of this size. I mean, the door cards are just sort of hard plastic, but you'd expect that. One thing I've realised is a bit mean on this TS specification as opposed to the Tamura that I filmed in 2022 is the rear door handles are, well, they're not chromed or anything, so it's a bit mean really. Also on the very base ones of these, you didn't get a split folding rear seat, which isn't too good either. Also, you don't get the kind of same centre console on this that you'd get in the higher specification one. There's no sort of clip to hold your things in place, but never mind. We've got windy windows in the back, but a lot of you will not find that to be a problem whatsoever. You've also got no rear courtesy light in here, but again, that's quite standard for a car like this. You also only get one grab handle, which is, again, a little bit on the mean side, but they're just sort of wanting you to buy the kind of high specification one. You can see that steering wheel looks very plain, doesn't it? But there we go. So yeah, it feels all sort of well made and durable. It's just, you know, plastics aren't the highest quality. This is a cheap car. This is no budget reviews. Why are we concerned about such things? But yeah, the room's actually okay. It's not too bad for a little car like this. I mean, headroom is very good. The legroom's not the most generous, but then it's better than a Mark 7 Fiesta, I think, which is saying something really. Okay, well, let's get in the front. Okay. Interestingly, again, base model, but we've got an aux in down here as well as a 12-volt socket, which is quite good. I think it's only on the facelifted cars. And then, yeah, electric windows and mirrors. We've even got a power shot driver's window, which isn't too bad. It's also got some quite large sort of bottle holders in the doors, although the pockets aren't the largest I've seen. 5-speed manual in this. This is the only transmission available for this particular engine, the 73 brake horsepower 1.3. And then we've got a little stereo, which to say hello, we turn it on. Yes, hello. Let's turn that down. The problem is with this stereo is that this clock sort of merges into the sort of display, so that when you have a session like this, it just, you can't really see the clock very well. It's down here and to the left, so what you want is it up sort of here somewhere, but that's not what happens. It's actually got a 6-disc CD changer, which is unusual for this sort of specification, but sort of towards the bottom. Then we've got a magazine rack in this glove box. To see if my secret mission dockets actually go in there. Or see if that actually is the case. So, drop it in. No, we're going to have to put it there. I suppose you could have it like that if you really want. It's not ideal, but it'll do. Just sort of hard plastic in here, but yeah, just a CD changer, electric mirrors. These cars were quite well equipped. Again, with the base model thing continues, or almost base model thing continues, we don't get a trip computer really. You just get the mileage and you get the trip. That's it. I don't mean trip computer. I mean like any other functions, like I don't know, like economy and distance driven and that sort of stuff. You don't get that. You just get 2 trip meters and that's it. Stalks feel good actually. I think these are the same used on a lot of other more expensive Mazdas, which is nice. Gear lever's nice and high up, like an old EP3 Civic Type R. Driving position is also very good. You can adjust the steering column for the height, which I think I need to. I think I need to bring it down slightly actually for my driving position, but that's fine. Other than that, not a lot else to say. Handbrake on the facelifted cars like this one was moved slightly to the right, which is better. I think the next thing to do is have a look at the engine. So, this is Mazda's Z engine. This is sort of basically like 1.34 litres in capacity, I think it is, but it's called a 1.3. And it generates, in this case, 73 horsepower. There was an 82 horsepower model available as well, and there was also a 1.5 version. But even for the base engine, it seems quite sporty. It's not the fastest thing in the world, but it's fine. You can see air conditioning's fitted. They are chain engines, and they tend to be quite dependable. Unlike the earlier version of the Z engine that came out in the mid-1990s with the Mazda 323, you don't have to worry about cam belts. So, yeah, chain engine. Got to make sure you top the oil up on these. They do use a bit of oil, which is normal. Apart from that, not much else to really say. The facelift occurred in about 2010. I think it does look better than the pre-facelift cars, although on this TS model, as you can see, we've got no fog lamps, so it looks a little bit basic, but that's okay. Right, let's take her out on the road. Right viewers, off we go. So there were 2 1.3 engines available, one with 73 horsepower, one with 84 horsepower before the facelift. That was later reduced down to 82 horsepower. Then the 1.5 engine was available as well. That's a bit more powerful. It's about 101 or 102 horsepower depending on the year of the car, mainly in the sport, but also after the facelift there were some 1.5 automatics made. There are also some diesels available, but as usual, due to controversial government legislation and all kinds of other reasons, we don't talk about diesels on this channel. We do talk about is the way that this car feels very, very alive. It's got an electric steering setup, but it feels very, very good. It's quite a light and nimble car on its feet. So excellent steering, very sharp handling. In some ways it's even sharper than a Mark 7 Fiesta. Of course they're very similar underneath. The problem is though, is that the ride's a little bit on the firm side, and it's okay on a very smooth road like this, but if you live anywhere that's got lots of bumps and sort of potholes and things like that, you will know about it. Even if you're driving on the motorway, it can be a little bit of an issue. So just be aware of that when you're buying one of these, that they are a little bit firmer than you know, you would otherwise expect from a car like this. But the trade-off is it's just such a sweet little car to drive, with this 5-speed manual, with this really sharp steering, particularly with the sort of more powerful engines. In fact, this one's okay. It does 0 to 60 about 14.5 seconds, so it's nothing particularly to write home about, but it still feels okay. I've driven on the motorway several times with this car, and it's absolutely fine. It's not even pulling 3,000 RPM at 17/5, so which is good. The other thing about buying one of these with a 1.3 engine is that they are £35 a year to tax after the facelift, which is really, really good. It obviously helps with running costs, because you know you don't have to change the cam belt in this because there isn't one. But obviously there are some things to watch out for, which we're going to cover in a little while. But overall, these are very, very good cars, and I don't have any hesitation really in recommending them to people, particularly because they drive so nicely. Someone at Mazda really understands how to make a front-wheel drive car ride and handle really, really well. Although really only for people with sporting it. If you don't like that, there's loads of other options out there. You know, Polars, Fiestas, and you know, you could really want to buy a Peugeot 207, but I don't recommend you do that. Those are not good. These are though. Since I last filmed one of these, the Parker's website has been updated with a list of common faults of these cars, other than above what I've already known. So, first one is the clutch pedal making noise. This one's fine. Suspension wear, yeah. The biggest problem on this, and it's kind of the same on something like a Mark 7 Fiesta, is the drop links on the front suspension, which this is kind of also sort of starting to sort of exhibit some signs of. It's nothing bad. They're quite easy and cheap to do the drop links, so it's not the end of the world. It's not even advisory on the MOT or anything. It's just had new MOT in this car, so there we go. Clunking power steering, this is fine. ABS failure, this is fine. Boot release failure, this is fine. Air conditioning issues, air conditioning actually works in this car, that's fine. Lightweight build quality. The doors are very light on this car, and they don't sound very good when you close them. Forbidden fuel engine, yeah, we don't talk about those in this channel. Petrol engine on even idle, this is idling fine, actually. Then there's carbon build up as well, so that's fine. And then just general sort of second car hardships. I took some trim levels now for one of these. This is a TS. You could also get a TS2, then an SE, the Tamura that I drove last time, then loads of other weird specifications. The other main trim was the Sport, which only came with a 1.5 engine. There's also the Black Edition, the Colour Edition, the Sport Colour Edition. I actually saw one of those today, a Sport Colour Edition. The Sport Venture Edition, the Takuya, the Tamura we covered last time, the Venture, and the White Edition. So viewers, should you consider a second generation Mazda 2 for your hard-earned budget? It's up to £1,000. Well, you're going to find with under £1,000 of one of these cars, and I'll allude more to this in the very vague vlog that talks about this story of how I came to sourced this car that they're not very good for that sort of money. I mean, very few cars sort of are these days for under £1,000, unless you're nowhere to look. I'd recommend you spend about £1,500 to £2,000 to get yourself a better one like this. And we've gone over some of the common things. The other thing is rust. Like, these cars do suffer from rust. This one's absolutely fine, but do check that when you are looking at a Mazda 2 of this era. Anyway, thank you ever so much indeed once again for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe to the channel, like this video in the comment below, and we shall see you again very soon for some more inexpensive motoring.